Hey fashionistas, welcome back to Salemfashion YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I will show you how to sew this beautiful kaftan dress with ruched design. So for this purple one, I used an elastic to ruch the front, and then for the second method, I created a casing to pass a rope to ruch my dress. So go ahead now and click on the subscribe button before we begin to join the Salemfashion family. Let's get straight into the tutorial. So to begin, I went ahead to fold my fabric into 4 just like you see, and I secured it with pins just to keep it down. And next I'm going to go ahead now and draw out my starting line across. Okay, so after that I'll go ahead and indicate half of the shoulder measurement of my client, which was 8 inches on this point. And then next I'm going to come in by 3 inches for the neck width, and then I'm going to come down by 1.5 inches for the neck depth of the back. And then I'll go ahead and use my ruler to just draw out the curve of the neckline just like so. So after that now guys, I'm going to go ahead and indicate the front neck depth. Okay, but while cutting, we'll cut out the back first before cutting out the front later. Okay, so I came down by 9 inches for the neck depth of the front, and then I'll just use the slight part of my ruler, okay, to just draw out my V neckline. Just watch what I'm doing. I just use the slight curve of the ruler to just draw out the V neckline just like so. Okay, so after that now guys, I'm going to come on this point, which is the full length of the dress by 1.5 inches. So I use about 18 inches for the rest of the sleeve from the shoulder point. Okay, now I'll go ahead and use my ruler to just draw out my shoulder slant just like you see me doing like so. Okay, so while that is done, I'll come down by my sleeve opening of 12 inches on that point, and I marked it. Then from the sleeve opening, I came in by 5 inches to create my sleeve. Okay, then I'll use my straight ruler to draw out the straight line just like you see. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is to come down by my hip line. Okay, that is my hip depth as well. So I'll go ahead and indicate the same measurements again on this point to get a straight line, and then I'll use my straight ruler to just rule out my hip line. So this is my hip line. Okay, that is all we need. Then now on that hip line, I'll go ahead and indicate quarter of the hip circumference, okay, which is the hip circumference divided by 4 plus extra 4 inches, and I marked it there. Now I'll bring the same measurement down to the full length of the dress like so, and then I'll indicate it. So after getting the measurement, I'll connect both points together just like you see with my straight ruler. I'll go ahead and connect it to the full length. Okay, so now I'll come up on that point by 10 inches, and this is the point where I'm going to stop my cowl effect. So I'll go ahead now and use my free hand to just draw out my cowl just like that. Okay, just like you see. So it is so easy, you can just do it with your free hand. Now afterwards, I'll go ahead and begin to cut out my dress. Okay guys, so after cutting now, I'll go ahead and unpin it just like you see. I'll separate the back from the front, and I'll use one for the front. So I'll be using this one for the front. I'll go ahead and lay it back down just to cut out the front V neckline. Okay, so here you have it. So after that now guys, the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is to go ahead and join both pieces together. Now I'll go ahead and put both fabrics together, right sides facing each other just like you see now, and then I'll go ahead and pin it down on the shoulder, and we'll take it to the sewing machine and join it on the shoulder just like you see. Okay, so after joining it guys, this is what it is looking like. Mind you, I joined only the shoulders together. Now the next thing we need to do is to proceed and finish the neckline. So I went ahead to cut out a bias with the same fabric, and I'll be using it to finish the neckline. Okay, I'll just go ahead and place it round and sew it down just to finish my neckline. So guys, you should take note that this process, I'm repeating it on the second fabric. Note that we're doing 2 tutorials, so whatever you do here, you do it for the second fabric as well. Okay, so now after sewing it, I'm done with my neckline just like you see here. I did it for both the purple and the wine fabric just like you see. Okay, so I finished the neckline. So at this point, we'll go ahead now and begin with the casing for the ruching. So I went ahead, as you can see now, to iron down the center point of the dress just to get the middle point so that I will know where to attach my casing for the ruche. Okay, so I will place my casing. I went ahead to create a casing of 1 inches, just like you see here. The casing is 1 inches wide, so you'll be cutting 2 inches, then you fold it into 2 and iron it down neatly. Now I'll place it on that middle point and I will sew it on both sides down, and then I will sew the center of the casing as well to divide it into 2. So before attaching the casing, you have to ensure that you hem the lower part of the dress, okay, just the front to be precise, but you can leave a little allowance at the ending part at this on both sides, okay, to join it. So now, as you can see, for the purple fabric, I also went ahead to iron it down to get the center. Now I'll be using elastic to ruche this one. Okay, so to ruche it, I'll just go ahead and use my elastic, place it on that center or crease line, and then I'll just go ahead and begin to sew it down just like you see. It's really easy. So mind you, as you are sewing, you have to be stretching the elastic. Can you see that the ruche is already forming really very nice already? It is really easy to make. Okay, just sew, place your elastic on that center and just continue to sew it. While you sew, stretch your elastic while sewing. Stretch your elastic while sewing, just like you see here. Okay, so for the wine fabric, this is also the center point. I'll go ahead now and place my casing on top. The casing will be on the center, then I will sew down the side. After sewing it to the end, I will sew the other side just like I illustrated for you earlier, just like I explained earlier, and then I will sew down the middle of it to divide it into 2 so that my casing, my rope, can pass through both sides. Okay, so this is what we have here. So I went ahead to create this really long rope. I'll pass it through from one end to another, just like you see me doing here. And finally, go ahead and join the sides of your dress and hem all the necessary parts. So this is what the purple is looking like. If you watch this video to the end, kindly comment this emoji so I know my real fashion friends. See you next time. Bye.